Hi, everybody. I'm Mel Doerr, the Aloha Shirt Psychic, and I've got my button on. No one fights alone. We'll talk about that in a second. But I'm so excited. I have got Psychic Arthur in the house. Yay. And
Hello.
they're going to be doing regular collabs in the future. And I'm excited about that. And
So
Arthur, you are already up to how many subscribers?
5.2.
5,200.
Yeah. In
I
fact, when I had reached 4.5 thousand, I had a contest.
I could remember when you and I first started talking, I said, do your YouTube show, do your YouTube show. And I said, after X amount, you get monetized, a
And I
thousand.
kept saying, Mel, are you on crack? Are you on crack?
I said, maybe, but
And now what I tell everybody is I'm 66 years old, reinventing myself on YouTube. Who knew? Mel. Mel.
well, Linda Grindle was so wonderful in getting me started, and she's helped so many of us. And, for those who have the talent and the ability, we all have psychic ability, but some stronger than others, but you clearly have it and strong psychic ability. And, I'd like to pay it forward. So anyway,
Yeah.
and anybody out there, I suggest that you get a reading from Psychic Arthur. He is amazing. And your website is Arthur, Arthur, ease, Ease, your mind, mind.com. Arthur, easeyourmind.com. Go to his YouTube channel, subscribe, thumbs up. Um, and his YouTube channel is Arthur, Ease Your Mind.
Right.
Okay.
As opposed
Phone
to lose
number
your
for
mind.
phone number for Arthur is 310-494-5955. That's my computer voice. 310-494-5955.
When Anthony Hopkins did the voice for Hannibal Lecter,
Oh, really?
well, no, when he did the
Oh, yeah,
voice
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah,
Hannibal
yeah.
Lecter,
Hello, duh.
he said he took a combination of Katharine Hepburn and Hal from 2001.
Oh, I loved that Hal from 2001. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wonder who did the voice for that.
I don't know. I read on a book back here somewhere, but
Yeah, I do my Auntie Mel character. My friend Beverly, her son Jamie, and I, over the years, have evolved the character. And, I do my Italian Taylor Street character. It's an Italian neighborhood. Yo, hey, what's going on? You know, uh,
well,
I come up with all these characters in my head. So anyway, for you guys that want to know this is,
mine talk back to me. That's my problem.
well, me too, and I answer. This is my journey with oropharyngeal cancer. And it says, no one fights alone, and no one does. And thanks to the community for standing behind me during that horrible time. But I think it's important to wear it tonight because of what's going on in the country, in the
Yes.
world, and that our voices will and shall be heard. I want to say hello, if it's okay,
Sure.
to my friends. I want to say hello to Carolyn Meanley in Houston and Mike in Texas. Hi, Carolyn. Hi, Mike. Um, and I was talking to Carolyn today. She came to Italy with us. What a wonderful lady. She is so much fun. She's so cool. Um, and she was telling me about this abortion thing in Texas, where there's a woman in Texas and she's pregnant, but I guess 20 weeks or something. I forget the exact number of weeks. And it's the pregnancy is affecting her health. So she needed to have the fetus is damaged and she needed to have the pregnancy terminated. So the state of Texas, no, 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 no. Anyway, it went to the Texas Supreme Court and they ruled in her favor. They said she could because it's endangering her life. And Paxton, the attorney general down there, who's about as crooked as a barrel of fish hooks, crooked as a barrel of rattlesnakes, meaner than a barrel of rattlesnakes, said that if she terminated the pregnancy, that he would sue all the doctors and the hospitals involved.
Right.
That's horrible.
Well, actually, what happened was the the child is going to the fetus is going to die.
Die. Right,
Number one. Number two, she's 20 months.
right. No, 20
She
weeks.
20 weeks. She was so desperate to have a child. So this is heartbreaking to her. They went to court. A judge said that she would be allowed the abortion.
Right,
Then it's Ken Paxton that said, we're going to sue everybody.
right,
And then they went to the Supreme Court in Texas and they sat on it.
right.
And then they just last night, after they found out the woman had left, Ms. Cox had left Texas to have an abortion and get the health care she needed to another state, then they ruled that she could not have the abortion.
You know what? If it's endangering her life and it's terminating a pregnancy with a fetus that's not viable,
Viable.
these people, that do these sorts of things like Paxton and the people in the Texas Supreme Court or whatever, I'd like to know how many voted for it and how many voted against it on the Supreme Court in Texas.
Believe all of them did.
Well, then they need
They're
to
all they're
they need
all
to be replaced.
Republicans.
Well, here's the deal, and here's what I see coming. Uh, this case, and people are going to go, remember this woman, remember this woman. This case is going to help turn Texas purple. My guides are real strong on
Oh yes, I agree.
that. They talk about right to life, but yet they let people die. They want to put razor wire up over the Rio Grande River. They take busloads of immigrants and they drop them in a cold city in the winter. They refused to make people wear a mask for COVID when that was going on. And they talk about right to life.
It's cruel,
It's
and
not right to life. They just want right to birth. But if this baby was born and if something, and God forbid this baby would need care for the rest of its life, however long that is, they're the first ones that want to cut the social programs to take care of that child.
oh yeah, and take it off of Medicaid or whatever needed. But the
Correct.
thing is now is when this woman returns to Texas,
They can prosecute her because she went out of state. And if they try that, you know what?
that's going to be hell.
Let them do it.
Yeah.
Because here's what will happen. It'll go to the US Supreme Court. And that's not going to be pretty. And that very thing is going to, and this woman's going to become a political activist, you mark my words.
Oh yeah.
And I got a feeling she might run for political office. And hopefully she'll win. But I want to tell you something. It's really, really, really going to make a lot of people mad down in Texas who say, how can you let this woman die? And now you're going to put her in jail because she went out of state to help her health? I mean,
There's no laws that say you can't leave the state for health care.
that's correct. And you cannot, and if that goes to the US Supreme Court, even as conservative as as goofy as some of them are, they're going to say she has the right to travel. She has the right to go out of state and seek treatment, medical treatment anywhere she wishes.
Right.
And they're going to say in Texas, yeah, but she went to end a life of a fetus. But in this
But the
case,
fetus was already gone.
that's my point. But in this case, I got a well, I don't have a funny feeling. I predict intuitively that they're going to say you can't restrict people's rights to go out of state for medical care.
Right.
But it's this case that's going to help. I mean, women there are going to be hopping mad, and it's going to help turn Texas purple. So Carolyn shared that with me today.
Yes.
Um, and I talked to Mike about it a little bit as well. So anyway, it'd be interesting to see what happens.
It's going to it's going to turn things around and open up people's eyes. Because
Maybe
this is not just a Republican Democrat thing. And they're talking about humanitarian crisis. This itself, for her, is a humanitarian crisis.
it is. It absolutely is. Um, and so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a roller coaster ride. I did want to touch on that. Thanks for doing that.
But I also want to
Supreme
just tell
Court.
everybody, please, most benevolent outcomes and prayers for them all, everyone involved. Please.
Agreed. I had a feeling when Carolyn was talking to me that Texas will say when she comes back, they try to prosecute her. Well, let them because they won't be. I mean, if they prosecute her, it'll go all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court and she won't,
Well,
you know. And you know
it,
what? What they're doing, and they don't realize it, they're making her a martyr.
I was just going to say it's the martyr playbook.
That's right. You know, um, and they do it under the name of religion. That's not
And
religion. That
freedom
is no,
and
it's
for the
authoritarian
children.
autocratic. It's authoritarian autocratic bullshit. Pardon my language.
Mhm.
I'll probably go to YouTube jail for swearing, but I had to say that.
It's okay. I still love you. I'm the potty mouth psychic anyway, so don't worry
I
about
know you can, you can think the F word, you just can't say.
it. Fudge.
I swear like a
Fire truck has all the letters. Fire truck.
there you go. Fire truck. Oh, fire truck.
Yes.
I like that. All right. So hi to Carolyn Meanley and Houston and Mike. Okay. Uh, so the other thing I wanted to touch on really, really quick was McCarthy leaving Congress, and I think they're going to be left with like a or the House with a 3-seat margin. But when I concentrated on it, my psychic light bulb went off, and I saw that there's going to be at least two more Republicans leaving. So,
But don't forget, they also want to get Mendez out,
well, we'll see where that goes.
Democrat.
Well, but
But I've been predicting that others may leave.
they will.
And as far as I'm concerned,
I'm not talking about Santos. He's gone. But go ahead.
little Georgie pumpkin pie kissed the boys and made them cry. Uh, or girls, whatever.
Linda Grindle said he took his mink. I said he needed his pearls too.
He's saying he will plead guilty if he does no jail time.
Sounds like Trump, doesn't it?
Well, I've been saying for years he has to get to know the song "When You're Good to Mama" from Chicago.
Good to mama. Mama's good
Mama's
to
good to
you.
you.
The keeper of the clink.
Exactly.
I love that. I love Queen Latifah in that movie was amazing.
Oh yeah.
She's kind of like an Auntie Mel.
I was blessed enough to see the original cast.
Oh wow. That was
Jerry Orbach and
wow.
Gwen Vernon.
One of these days we got to talk
Pretty
about
good.
the stuff you've done. That's pretty
I bet
interesting.
there were laws.
You'll keep it clean.
I just tell everybody I'm thank my lucky stars. There was no social media when I was growing up.
Oh yeah, we'd be like
I'd be
be
learning the Quran by now.
somebody asked here, who will get rid of Matt Gaetz first, the House of Representatives or a court jury? And somebody responded, Michelle Bolden said he isn't going anywhere until his term is up. And I agree with her on that. He's going to stay in the House until his term is up. But I see a lot of court issues around him and I see investigations.
I also see more stuff with the ethics committee, like what they did with George Santos coming forward.
Okay. But at some point, I do
His
I do
days are numbered.
foresee him under indictment.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Pity. All righty. You've got questions, I've got questions, but Karen Carpenter asks.
Why
Oh, well,
do birds suddenly?
not that Karen Carpenter. We're not channeling her spirit.
I did that on Linda's show, by the way.
You channel Karen Carpenter.
Yeah, she said, "What do you think about Trump and the rest and what Smith is doing?" I said, I started howling, and she said, "What?" I said, "Karen Carpenter just whispered, we've only just begun."
Judy Garland is whispering Meyer somewhere over the rainbow. Because that's where they're all going to go. And it ain't going to be a nice place.
No, little warm. Bring your warm shirts.
Warm place, don't want them. What would be worse than that? Being like this Arctic kind of Antarctic climate where it's really cold and you have to like not have enough heat and you're shivering and oh well.
Uh-huh. I would just make him a lunch lady at some like school.
No, that's too good.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, I think they should have to come back as Well, if they're cockroach, they don't know they're a cockroach, you know?
Mm.
Um, I think they never mind, can they say
I can't say it because it's too cruel.
I know that's what it's
Who gets this channel shut down?
yeah,
So,
we're not going to no, you're on my show. We ain't going to YouTube jail. Okay.
okay.
Karen Carpenter asks,
Yes.
how will SCOTUS, United States Supreme Court, rule on Jack Smith's latest motion to decide whether or not Trump is immune from criminal prosecution? Well, if they don't hear the case, but
They are hearing the case.
yes, I know.
They are hearing it. And Jack Smith was brilliant the way he leapfrogged.
Either you're reading my mind or I'm reading yours, and this is a brilliant chess move on his part.
Well, the appeals court took them almost a year to decide that he was, for the civil cases, that immunity did not hold for him.
It doesn't
And
because
so,
it doesn't hold for the state, I don't think. For
no,
the
but I'm just saying, no, for all the people that went against Trump during the DC insurrection.
right.
So they said, no, the immunity doesn't work here. And so what Jack Smith did, and I feel the Supreme Court, to their chagrin, is going to say, or to his chagrin, is going to say, immunity doesn't count. You have no presidential
What he's
immunity,
trying to
and
argue
you're
is
no longer a president.
well, what he's trying to argue is it happened when he was president, so he was immune. But presidents under the Constitution are not immune from prosecution. It was just kind of a, it was just,
Gentlemen,
it was just,
change it.
it was kind of a, not
Unwritten
a
rule.
law, but it was just kind of an understood thing that setting presidents shouldn't be prosecuted or
However,
indicted or indicted.
he was not doing presidential work. He was campaigning, and there's a difference.
But the bottom line is there's that kind of unspoken rule, but it's not a law and it's not in the
Right.
Constitution. And I think the Supreme Court is going to say, wait a minute, if you commit a crime, even if Trump is going to say he's president, he was immune. The Supreme Court, I think,
No.
is going to say wrong.
Right. It's after the fact.
Jack Smith is, well, what he's doing is every angle he's anticipated that Trump's going to take.
Oh, yeah.
He's putting roadblocks up at every single
And
angle.
he's also brought in some brilliant people,
Oh,
like
yeah,
the guy he went to get to figure this all out. I mean, he's
absolutely.
brilliant and has argued like 20 cases in front of the Supreme Court. I forget his name, but you know, he's off playing checkers and or tiddlywinks, and Jackson's off playing four-dimensional chess.
And well, I agree with you. Trump, they can't even do tiddlywinks. It's like they're busy trying to count their fingers. They can't even do that. But I do disagree with you on this when you're saying he's playing four-dimensional chess. Oh, no, no, no. He's playing a
Beyond,
100-dimensional chess.
yes,
He's
beyond that,
he's
yes.
beyond. The guy's brilliant. And Eileen Loose Cannon, I see her off the bench at some
I
point.
get her out in February.
Oh, I don't know about February, but I see her gone.
I get her out in February, March because the last thing she did, Smith can appeal it. Everything she's done has been shuffling paper around, so there's nothing to appeal. But the last thing she did, he can appeal.
What
So
did
I,
she do? I don't even know. She's done so much.
oh, just oh, God, what was it? And they all blend together, all the court cases. But I just remember reading that the latest thing she did can be brought to appeal because it's not about shuffling the dates.
There
It
you
has
go.
to do with the oh God, what is it called? With all the secrets and
Oh, I got you.
yeah,
Well, she's not the brightest crayon in the box, that's for sure.
no, no, no.
But I like this other judge, the federal judge. I can't think of her name right now. Um,
Chutkin,
yeah, Chutkin.
Miss
She's not going to
Chutkin,
put up with any BS. Nor will what's the guy's name? Oregon, the guy in
Aragon,
in
yeah,
New York,
Agaron, whatever.
and the judge also in Georgia's not going to put up with any BS either.
Mm-mm, no,
We shall see.
no. I really feel that he's this whole thing also going to the Supreme Court about him um, about the appeal. It's just gonna like go nowhere. So, they can even say you can keep on going with this. We're not ruled on it, but you keep on going.
As
And
Brenda would say, it's a nothing burger
exactly, with a nothing on the side.
with plain sauce.
Yeah,
Oh,
imaginary.
imagine that. Okay, oops, I lost my thing here. Here we go. Okay. Um, Toned 8508 says it's been predicted that an apparition of the Virgin Mother will appear in 2024. Do you see this? And if so, where in the world will she appear? I'm not intuiting that at all. I mean, I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just not picking up on it.
I was just thinking Madonna was going on tour again.
Who?
Madonna.
I
I'm not. I don't see it. I don't know.
like that. Is she really going on tour for real?
I don't know.
Let's ask her. We'll call her up. Yo, Madonna. Yo, Madonna.
Yeah.
And I tell you, Madonna. That's dialect from the Madonna. Yo, Madonna. You going on tour? I want a first row seat, okay?
Are you gonna be voguing anytime soon?
Arthur wants one too. All right. Put all of our friends in there. And you could take us backstage.
Yeah,
How's that?
like that.
That's my Italian godfather. I'm part Italian. I can do that. Okay. Alex Navalny. People are asking about.
Yes, I got lots of questions about him.
All right. So what do you think? Or what do you psychically predict or intuit or whatever verb that we use for whatever we do?
I make this stuff up and hope it happens. No, it's just that
Again?
I make it up and hope it happens. No, it's what I got here was the last thing they want to do is make him into a martyr. However, he'd been gone for 6 weeks. I felt that he was on a hunger strike. I felt they took him, put him in a hospital so he wouldn't be on a hunger strike and force him to eat or whatever, or force feed his body to take stuff.
My feeling is he's still alive, but you know,
Barely.
if Putin pushes him out a first floor window and
Yeah,
says it's suicide, like he always does, um, it's a huge mistake because Putin doesn't realize it, but he is becoming a martyr. Not Putin, but Navalny.
no, that's what I'm saying. Navalny is,
Right. He is.
and in
And
fact, his
people,
people have put
yeah,
up
go
big
ahead.
signs, Happy New Year, all over Russia. And then there's a little code, and you look at the code, it tells you, not to vote for Putin.
Well, I was just going to say, I hadn't seen that, but a lot of the people in Russia are really pro Navalny. And it's just like years ago with Lech Walesa in Poland, and he's
Like
the one
Valencia, yeah.
who Solidarność. And that helped this whole movement in Poland to, along with Karol Wojtyła at that time, who later became Pope John Paul II,
Hmm.
helped this whole movement, break away from the Soviet Union. And that started the whole Glasnost Perestroika movement, meaning openness and freedom. So my feeling is you're right that Navalny, dead or alive, will be a martyr. And if
I keep on getting in 3 weeks we're
Putin
going to
tries to say
know.
that he killed himself on a hunger strike, people aren't going to buy that.
No, I feel that they'll be putting IVs in him so he doesn't die.
Exactly.
And I kept on getting last night looking because I had other questions about it from other people. Is I say within 3 weeks, not in three, but within the next 3 weeks, we will know the truth. It'll come out. I still think he's alive. I don't see he's crossed over.
I don't think so either. But regardless, it's going to coalesce the whole world against, well, many people in the world against Putin. No one fights alone.
That's exactly.
Um, and um, many people in Russia against Putin. And people are going to start saying, we're not afraid. Your gulags can't hold all of us. So I thought it was appropriate to wear this. This next one, I can't. Sheila, something critical thinker. I can't. It says, "Hey, Auntie Mel, thank you for being you." Well, thank you. I'm always me. Um, will we get the ERA be something within the next 3 years? I can't read the word.
Ratified?
REAT. No, REATI. I think it's ratified or something like that, but I just can't. It's REATIFIET. I don't know. But I see equal rights amendments going through. All right. Uh, I think she's talking about equality for women. And I see a point in this country when, it's equal salary for equal job title. Um, and just the fact that a female doesn't have a certain part of the anatomy at some point won't make a difference as to how much they get paid.
Mhm.
And I see a point in time where the government keeps their eyes out of our bedroom and their eyes outside of a female's uterus.
Yes. Well, when things start changing in 2025, I just get a lot of new laws are going to be put on the books. A lot of draconian laws are going to be taken off the books. And it's about for humanity.
I agree. I agree. I see new members of SCOTUS. Yay.
Well,
So
I've always said, and I hate to harp on this, but we have nine Supreme Court justices. The reason why we have nine is because when they were voting for it, we had nine appellate courts. We now have 13 appellate courts, and I've been saying in the next 4 years, 4 to 5 years, there will be 13 Supreme Court justices. That's the way I read it.
I feel the same thing, the same way. But I think Biden didn't want to do that right now because he
No,
could
he
say,
can't.
okay, because then it would set a precedent for then some of the MAGAs to stack the court. And
Right,
but
right.
anyway, uh, I'm sure Mitch McConnell is sorry that, well, SCOTUS, but I'm sure he's sorry that that it took the turn it did with all these MAGAs.
Well,
Kevin Chandler said the party's imploding, and it is. The
oh
Republic,
yeah, oh yeah. When MTG is their Madonna, I don't
oh,
think so.
right.
I once said that I can't wait till MTG has my tragic girlfriend, has a come to Jesus meeting with Jesus, and he bitch slaps her.
That's something Auntie Mel would do. I'll bitch smack you in a minute.
Yeah. And then I actually, as a joke, I saw on Linda's show, she was talking about the book. So I said, here's the first picture here's one of the chapters of her book. And I sent her a coloring book, picture of a coloring book.
No, I think they should. I think that we should write that she should. I think MTG should write a book called "How I Was Arrested by the Fashion Police."
Or how I have no gay friends that are groomers.
That was good.
I try.
Or my gay friend hated me because look how I designed my dress.
Well, that's what I was saying about Sarah Huckabee
Oh, with
Sanders.
those pearls? Oh, good Lord.
I want something to clutch onto.
Well, I think she should share a pair with Santos. That'd be good.
Maybe she got them from him
Probably.
on his spree at
On his
LA.
credit card that he used on somebody else's credit card. No, she bought the podium with that.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. Uh, Road card, I don't know I'm not familiar with this case, and typically I don't like to go public on a forensics case because I've worked on so many murder cases and
I
missing
don't do
people.
them.
Well, I do them, but I don't go public with them.
No, I don't talk. I mean, I don't talk about them.
So she said, "What has happened to the missing children in Ohio?" I don't know what missing
I
children.
don't know.
Will
I
they
don't
ever
know.
be found, and will the people who abduct them ever be brought to justice? I will just say this much about it: justice will be served.
Eventually is what I'm hearing. Eventually.
Okay. Well, we've already talked on this one. Will the Supreme Court decide in favor of Jack Smith's request for no more appeals by 45 and no immunity? Well, everybody's got the right to appeal, so the court might say he's got the right to appeal, but no more immunity stuff.
No, no,
I mean, he's not immune from prosecution.
no, he's not. Not at
Um,
all.
the court will decide that because if they decide other than that, it's going to give everybody the right to say, well, Trump got by with it. Why can't I?
And then everyone run for
Then we'll be all driving Sherman tags because all the laws and speed laws and all that stuff will go right down the tubes. So
scary thing.
well, people, let's step out of the fear, let it get behind you and push you forward. You know what? There's coming a time in America really soon when this small group of ultra right-wing Christian nationalists, the MAGAs, will no longer be able to control the majority of us, and they're not going to be able to push their pseudo religious beliefs down our throat.
Right.
I said pseudo religious beliefs
Yeah.
because for me, religion should be inclusive and about love, tolerance, not about, well, if you're gay, if you're this, if you're that, if you do, then, Jesus doesn't like you.
Yeah,
Jesus,
Jesus,
when Jesus is,
who ran around with 12 other men. None of them were married, all wearing dresses. Never
Jesus
mind.
has room in Jesus's tent for everybody.
Yes.
All right.
Um, I got a question here.
Yes.
Hello, Arthur and Mel. Will Ken Paxton and his evilness ever get prosecuted?
Yes. Yes. And yes.
Yes, I agree with that 100%.
I wonder how he's going to look in sliders, those orange slider shoes. When you go to jail, they give you these shoes. They're like these. Your feet slide into them, and they're orange. They call them sliders. Not that I've ever been in jail. I haven't, but I can see them in his sliders. You have to bling them up a little bit.
We just call them slippers.
No, sliders is what they call them in jail, I think.
Mm.
All right.
Well, speaking of sliders in jail, hey there, you handsome duo. Thank you. This is some
They
sweetie
say,
darling Lulu.
"Oh,
Hey there,
hi,
you
sweetie,
handsome
sweet, hold
duo.
on, sweetie, darling Lulu." They say the eyes are the first to go, girlfriend. You better get your glasses. Go
I
ahead.
know. Will Stephen Miller be in trouble for January 6th? Maybe he will go to jail. I don't know if it's about January 6th, but he's going to get in trouble.
I see he is going to have a lot of problems for January the 6th. And
But he's the guy that, for every child that was put into one of those, and I will call it a concentration camp at the
or
border,
concentration camps.
the government paid $750 a child per night. And all they gave him was a piece of tinfoil,
I know it.
as a blanket.
Oh, he's going to be in deep doo-doo.
And I feel, I keep on feeling the realm is really,
Now, if he went to jail and they did that to him and gave him bad food, if he could even eat it, and tinfoil blanket, they call it a body insulating blanket or something,
Malamar.
in a floor. Oh, he'd be the first to scream.
I'd just be there making a tinfoil hat.
Uh, I see him under investigation, and I see him behind bars at some point. So,
Yeah, I agree.
okay. Essential said, I'm an Aussie. Hello, Australia. But wonder if there will be any backlash or criminal charges against Christian, I say Ziegler. It's not, in German, it's pronounced Ziegler.
Is that the guy from Florida?
I think, yeah. The hypocrisy of these people astounds me. Okay, Essentials, I like the fact that you're an Aussie and that you're asking this question. You can ask any question you'd like. Maybe one of these days we'll do political predictions about Australia and Canada. All right. So I see a huge backlash against him.
I love the fact his name is Christian.
I know. Yeah, how Christian is that, right?
Hmm.
They were the ones, I think his wife was anti-LGBTQ, and they were
He was
saying,
Moms for Liberty.
right, and they were doing like same-sex
Three
three,
ways.
whatever they were doing,
Menage a trois.
a collection of three. And so the very things that they were saying was so sinful was the very things they were doing. And there's going to be a lot more coming out because when I think of
Yeah.
the Tarot, I'm thinking of the moon, which means a lot of secrets coming to the surface. So, and
And
it's,
this is just the tip of the iceberg.
oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. It's going to be really scandalous. Uh, we're coming into the age of truth,
Yeah.
and that's
And
good.
don't forget, tomorrow we start a Mercury retrograde. So
You had to tell me that.
no.
Wondered what was going
But
wrong.
we had trouble connecting on the Zoom night,
Oh,
so that's good.
everything's going haywire. Any
It's
kind
been
of,
that way for the last week for me. I swear to God.
oh, it's like, all right. This is a good one. Jamie Joe says, will Congress fund Ukraine before the end of the month? I do see funding for Ukraine. It's not over.
What I get is if they do not give anything, because don't forget, they're also meeting with the Republicans have the meeting with
Zelensky was just here.
yeah, but the Republicans have been secretly meeting with Viktor Orban, who is
With
visiting
who?
us.
I'm
Viktor
sorry,
Orban,
who's that?
Hungarian prince, Hungarian president, who's best friends with Putin.
Oh, the right winger?
Yeah, but they're also meeting with him privately, and he's trying to get them not to give money to Ukraine. I feel if they don't give money to, they'll give something, not enough, but I do feel that Biden has something up his sleeve,
He does. He absolutely does.
and they're just going to like
And you know what? That secret meeting they're having, or that private meeting they're having with the Hungarian prime minister,
President Viktor
really,
Orban.
I don't know if that's insurrection to support Putin, but what's going to happen, there's going to be somebody who's going to leak that.
Oh yeah,
This is going to come public and it's going to really, 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 really.
yeah. He's the prime minister of Hungary, and
I know who
the
he is.
one that
The
Trump
name,
has been talking about in his roadshow.
the name didn't ring a bell, but I know who he
Yeah,
is. Um,
yeah.
I don't think he's going to be in power long either.
No, well, the thing is, when he got into power, he took away the press, he took away voting rights, he took away everything.
I still don't see him being that successful.
No, I don't see it. But I'm just saying that this is what, when Trump said he'll be dictator for a day, no, he's going to be dictator wherever if he gets
Just
in.
like the guy in Hungary. But
We have to vote.
I see the people in Hungary standing up at some point too.
Hmm.
But my guides are telling me I predict that there's going to be somebody in that meeting or a couple people that leak out what happened.
Oh yeah.
And ooh, it's going to be scandalous. And that they tried to make some kind of under the hand pact, like if Trump wins or whatever, then no
Hmm.
Ukraine and blah blah blah, and maybe even try to get some dark money to Putin. But um, you
Yeah, well,
know,
I've also been
clearly,
predicting.
I think Trump and his cronies are clearly behind this. You know that.
Oh yes. But I also feel that, and I've been predicting this, that I don't see Putin on this plane after April.
I see him gone. I don't
Yeah.
know what
I'm
happens. That
no, I'm just saying that I feel he may be going to the great beyond by the time we hit April 1st. I've been saying that for about a year now.
for him, there is no great beyond.
Well, for him there will be.
Maybe when he crosses over for the, or when he croaks for the people in Russia, it will
Well,
be.
that's what I'm talking about. I feel he may not be here. He may be assassinated or he may not.
Yeah, I don't see him around. But back to this thing, I think though that's probably the MAGA Republicans that are meeting with this Prime Minister of Hungary. I don't
Yes.
I don't think all Republicans are.
No, 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 no. It's the hard,
It's
crazy
ultra
MAGA people.
right-wing Christian nationalists. And you know what? That will cease at some point. I heard a story I watched on YouTube. There was a Jewish man from a village, I think it was in Poland,
Hmm.
um, during World War II. And when the Nazis came in, about 90% of the people in the village became Nazis and pro-Nazis and this and that. And he said after the war in that same village, there wasn't a single Nazi, meaning, or Nazi supporter, that those same people who had proclaimed their allegiance to the Nazis after the war, all of a sudden, oh, we don't know anything about it. They crawled back in the woodwork. And that's
Right,
what I see is going to happen here. These MAGA ultra right wing so-called Christian nationalists, they're going to crawl back on the woodwork.
right.
I was talking to a friend of mine in Texas, and he said, the exterminators bait the cockroaches and they take it into the nest and feed the whole nest. That's exactly what's going to happen here with the MAGAs, however you say it.
Maggots,
Well,
whatever.
it's an insult to a maggot.
Oh, we're talking about insects. So,
I know. Um,
which volcanoes do you see erupting? Asked, Karen Stanius.
um, Well, there's
Any
one
big
in
quakes?
Indonesia that's like Krakatoa. That was huge. That was a huge volcanic eruption. But
I mean, there's something, we all know the Iceland one, but I don't see it becoming Mount Vesuvius or anything.
no, no, no. Iceland volcanoes are always like,
Yeah,
I'm not worried about that. Um, I don't see that mega eruption in Naples that everybody's worried about. But that's not
right.
Vesuvius. There's an underground volcano there that's huge. Um, I do see some eruptions, but not humongous. I mean, um, what was I saying? There was a volcano. I was just mentioning it. Oh, what was I? Hmm, I lost my train of thought.
I don't see any Mount St. Helens, put it that
Oh,
way.
um, oh goodness, not the Icelandic volcanoes, but I lost my train of thought. But anyway, if there's eruptions, they're not major.
Hmm.
Uh, maybe some in the Caribbean, but
I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not really feeling much.
not like, oh, Indonesia, the sun, I think it's called the Son of Krakatoa. Krakatoa erupted in the 1800s, and oh,
Hmm.
I mean, it was a huge, huge volcanic explosion. The tsunamis alone killed oh, so many people. I think there will be eruptions. I mean, it's erupting and it's building another volcano.
Right.
It's going to erupt, but the whole island's not going to explode.
Yeah, it won't be like Montserrat that just blew up and disappeared.
Well, Krakatoa was even worse than that.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so I feel Ukraine getting funding. Yes,
Yes.
you're right. Biden has something up his sleeve. Okay. Hello, Mel and Arthur. Special Counsel David Weiss overlooking the Hunter Biden case. He keeps flip-flopping on decisions. Is David promised something or political pressure? What do you see for Hunter Biden? Gun charges, taxes, and testify in Congress, go to prison. Thank you. Well, this is like five questions in one. Well, I think that the whole thing with Hunter Biden, because it's an election year, I think it's the deceive, divert, detract, distract, divide, and destroy. That's what Trump tries to do. I think it's a diversion. I don't know if he's innocent or guilty. Let the courts decide that. But if he is guilty, then pay the price. But the same token goes to Republicans who have committed crimes. So they're
Yes.
all going after Hunter Biden. He did this and he did that. But some of the things that they've done is much, much worse. So if he's found guilty, pays the price, they should too.
Hmm.
But I see Hunter Biden suing Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh,
I I see him filing a lot of lawsuits that he's going to win.
the revenge porn
Right.
against
Uh,
her. But I also feel he's going to, in the long run, I feel he's going to be okay. It's hell that he has to go through. If his last name was, Jones, none of this would be happening.
it's not going to bode well for David Wise, I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think he was promised anything per se.
I just don't think he has that strong of a case.
No, it's just I don't think he's that smart.
I mean, they're going after him for taxes, and Trump didn't file taxes, and
And
Trump
but he paid
falsely
them,
Trump
but he
falsely inflated his property so he could get bank loans and didn't pay tax on the profit.
and so we would have to pay high taxes. Like Mar-a-Lago, listing it as, a resort as opposed to residence
Right. I mean, all of the above.
and less tax. But
I mean,
Hunter already paid back his taxes.
that's my point. So, but they don't say anything about Trump. It's a witch hunt, but yet they go after Hunter Biden for doing this much, and they do this much, and they want to get by with it. Mm-mm. Justice is blind. Justice works
All
for
right. It's like somebody lighting a match and behind them is a whole building on fire and they're just going after the person that lit the match.
correct. All right. Um, Cynthia asks, will Katie Cox return to Texas? Will she and her family be all right? What will her impact in Texas and the US be?
That's the woman who had the abortion.
Oh, I got it. Oh, I see. I got it. Well, if she returns it, well, I don't know if they swear out a warrant for her, but I think whatever state she's going to, if she doesn't go back to Texas, they're going to say we're not going to extradite her back to
No,
Texas.
no, they won't.
Uh,
It's her
but
free will. I mean, it's her
but if they do arrest her, Um, I'm telling you, it's going to go to the Supreme
It's
Court.
going to get ugly for them.
Going to get ugly, but she is going to become a real champion of women's rights. The right to choice and their right to their own bodies.
Yeah, it's
I think it's really strange that a bunch of older middle class white men are telling women what they can do with their bodies.
well, because they can't tell their wives.
I'm sorry.
Because they can't tell their wives.
Right. Well, I wonder how many of their girlfriends have had to terminate pregnancies.
Exactly.
That's going to start coming out too. You mark my words. That's a psychic prediction.
Oh yeah, I agree 1,000% on that.
Okay. Barb Mecca says, "Hi, Mel and Arthur. Do you see a serious terrorist incident occurring in the U.S. next year as a result of financial support of Israel and their intense war in the Gaza Strip?" I see some terrorist activity, but I do see this war ending uh, in Gaza. In fact, there's innocent people there being killed,
I
uh,
know.
and that's sad. No matter what religion you
It,
are. But I think what's going to happen is once that war is over, Netanyahu doesn't want it to be over because it keeps attention from the crap he's pulled.
right.
But I think, Iran and Russia or Putin was behind that Hamas attack and
Yeah.
helped them orchestrate it because they wanted attention taken off of Ukraine.
Right. Exactly.
But
It's
I,
gonna.
I see the Gaza thing ending soon, and then attention turns back to Ukraine.
Well, I've been looking to see if there's going to be a ceasefire, and I feel a ceasefire. The latest it would be the end of January, but before then there'll be these moments of okay, everyone just slow down. We got to get aid in there, you know.
I agree.
But
Um,
I don't feel huge terrorist attacks in the United States because of it. I see little pockets here and there, just crazies, but not like a concerted
I'm
effort.
more worried about terrorism, meaning the crazies here, the cray crays take guns, these ultra right wing people that have been radicalized that think it's okay to go out and kill a bunch of people. I see an increase of mass shootings, unfortunately, and they need to do something. We do not need AK-47 assault weapons. We just don't.
No, no,
Those
no.
weapons aren't made for hunting, those weapons are made for killing.
And they showed pictures, of what the guns do to people.
Oh, you don't want to think about it. I've worked on a lot of murder cases with you don't want
I
to
know. I
listen.
so I've seen it.
It's stuff from your worst nightmare. Okay, Puppy Dog Diesel. I love that. Puppy Dog Diesel says, "Is President Zelensky's safety being protected? How is his health?" I think he's being protected, and I find him healthy.
I get him being protected by upstairs as well.
I'm sorry.
Angels, the angels upstairs
Oh, yeah.
being
I
very protected.
um all right. Tony A. Tube says, "Hi, Mel and Arthur. Just wondering if Florida will be hit with major hurricanes this year or next year." I think some of them are going to whip up through the Gulf Coast. And I
I
think
get both
I think
sides.
Texas is going to get hit with some too, that whole Galveston area.
I get both sides,
All right.
but not in the winter.
Um, Glenn Bird says, "Will Trump have a major medical mental health problem?" He's already got a mental health
Uh,
after the New York civil trial judgment takes his businesses, buildings, and and more towards 500 million. I've been saying for a couple years that Trump needs to watch his health, especially the head area. I don't mean mental, but I mean stroke or something like that.
I've always said he's too like it's a cheeseburger away from a heart attack, but I never saw him crossing the finish line.
Me either. I mean, when I try to see a long-term future for him, I can't see anything.
Right.
What does that tell us?
When I'm in to know.
No. All right.
I mean, the guides do that sometimes where they don't tell us stuff because if we know too much, we'll mess it up. That's what I tell my clients sometimes. It's like, well, it's like they're not telling us because if you knew, you would mess it up.
Okay, so Elaine Arnoldi wants to know about, funding for Ukraine and Israel. Um, I see, I wonder if Biden can take some money earmarked for Israel and send it to Ukraine. I don't know if he can do that, but you're right. I've been saying, my guys have been telling me, and I know psychic for a long time. My psychic light bulb went on that Biden is working behind closed doors. He's got something up his sleeve that's perfectly legal where he can help Ukraine.
I also felt that there's a lot of money that they have taken away from Russian oligarchs,
From what?
the, the Russian oligarchs,
Right?
like the yachts and everything else. That could be help the fund go back to Ukraine.
So
There's something going on. It's like
I heard a yes with that. When you
it's
said that, I heard a yes.
it's not a light bulb. It's more like a floodlight.
Well, my psychic light, but remember the
Yeah.
old flash cubes, the flash, like for the camera,
Oh yeah.
and the flash bulb would go off?
Like the paparazzis.
That's how I see it. All right. Uh, Yvonne says, I'm excited for this collab. And Sarah says, in this photo, Uncle Mel and Matt Damon. So there you go. Yay. So do you have more questions? We can do about two or three more.
Um, I got some of the same. I think some people went both our channels and asked some of the same questions. Um, yeah. Yeah. I've got yeah the Ziegler question as well. Let's see here. Write them out.
Um, I
Yeah,
heard
we've
a New
answered a
York
lot of
a New
this.
York court has restricted the map drawing. So good. Or redrawing
Well,
maps. So that
this is from Victoria. Will Melania eventually be found out as a spy and plant?
I don't think she's a spy. I don't think she is at all. I think she'll be found out for who she truly is, but not a spy. Um, I mean, she's clearly, I mean, when she gave that speech, it was like one that was like from Michelle Obama.
Yeah. I just saw that though apparently that she's upset that Jill Biden hired the Property Brothers to make over the Christmas decorations and everything for the White House.
No, say again, I didn't hear that.
I heard that Melania is upset, or her people are upset, that Jill Biden had the Property Brothers decorate the White House for Christmas.
Why is she upset by that?
Well, she thought hers were so spectacular and brilliant. Remember those red Christmas trees that look
Oh,
like the Handmaid's
Jill,
Tale?
yeah, well, they were ugly. Jill's is going to be amazing. And Melania had the rose garden torn out, so
Yeah,
I
exactly.
see it back at the taxpayer's expense.
Of course.
Okay.
But anyway,
So anything else you got real quick before we wrap this up?
I just want to say congratulations on your 20,000.
Thank you. Thank you. Um, Congratulations on your five.
5.
Yeah, I remember when we started, like I said, I was like, I said, you've got to do a YouTube show.
And I
No,
started with the guided meditations.
right. And then I
In
said,
fact,
yeah,
the guided meditation I did a couple of weeks ago, I was going to put up was about unleashing your creativity. Re-listening to it was a glitch. So I have to go back in the studio on Thursday and re-record it. But at the same time, I'm going to re-release the winter solstice one on the 15th. And because you use the energy of the winter solstice to manifest the next coming year. And it's been remastered and remixed. So it sounds really wonderful. So I'll
that
be,
you're talking.
but you're the one that got me to do the guided meditations. Tell you so, told me, get up there, start. And so,
But Spirit is also saying, don't forget your intuitive psychic work.
oh no, Believe me, I'm here. I'm doing shows.
Bravo. All right, my friend. We'll set up another show maybe within the next week or two. Does Tuesday nights work okay for you?
Does now.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we'll set it up and we'll keep them rolling.
Rolling, rolling, rolling.
Okay. Really, really quickly, if they want to get a hold of you, Mr. Arthur, how do they do that?
ArthurEaseYourMind.com. Here on YouTube, it's Arthur Ease Your Mind. And I have the links and everything needed. And there's a phone number, which I can't read off my card,
Here, I'll
is
do it. When we're
310-494-5955.
there you go.
Thank you, Mel.
All right, my friend, happy holidays. We'll do it again before the holiday. How's that?
Okay.
All righty. Everybody, I'll see you tomorrow night. Kim Copeland will be on my channel, and we will be answering just any questions you have, but make them specific. Um, Personal questions we're going to do tomorrow night. And then Thursday, I'm on Kevin Chandler's channel live. And so, and what do you have coming up, Arthur?
I have tomorrow I'm doing a show with Sherry
Sure,
from
it's cool.
Zoom Swamp.
Sherry's, she arranged that.
I know.
She and Aiden arranged that whole 20,000 get together. They did a great job.
I mean, I went out and bought a Hawaiian shirt for that thing, and then I messed up the time, so I didn't show up.
Well, you
But
can
I've
work.
got, and I'm doing a show with Deanne, Showman and Taryn, and I believe Val. And then in January, I'm with Susan Lynn.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
Susan's cool. They're all cool. Susan's
Yeah.
fun. Maybe you, me, and Susan Lynn could do a collab.
That'd be fun.
Or
Anytime.
maybe four of us with Kevin Chandler.
Sounds good to me.
Want to have Kevin Lewis on more, all of that. And so,
He's a sweetheart.
yeah, he's a nice guy. Everybody in the community is really nice. All right, my friend, you stay well.
You
Um,
too.
and remember, everybody, no one fights alone. Let your voices be heard. You do not have to feel alone in your fear. Let it get behind you and push you forward. Take your power back.
Love it.
All right,
All right. Good night.
stay well.
You too.